This is The Guide Gals, a modern, wedding-focused podcast by the experts at Here Comes the Guide. I'm Chelsea, a designer and inspired creative who's probably racked up over 8,500 hours on Pinterest and the friend who's going to shoot it to you straight.
And I'm Caroline, a social media manager who is obsessed with dogs as ring bearers and will inevitably cry over your wedding video. We've seen it from all sides. We've been brides, planners, bridesmaids, and have worked with standout brands throughout the industry.
Think of us as an extension of your wedding party and hang out with us as we share the ins, outs, ups, and downs of the road to I do.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Guide Gals podcast. Today, we're doing another one of our favorite episodes and diving back into trends.
Yes, today we're putting a little bit of a different spin on it though. We are going to be talking about trends that we're waving goodbye to.
We do always want to emphasize, though, that we want you to do whatever style, design, trend that you love, because in the end, that's what matters.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Whatever you really love doing is probably the right decision for you. But if you like to be in the know as far as trends, especially in the wedding industry, then this episode is for you. So the trend cycle is natural. It's going to happen in every category of stuff, but not all trends are timeless. That's the thing. And every generation probably has some sort of trend wedding wise that they will look back on and kind of laugh at or cringe. I'm thinking those really puffy sleeves that I think
Yeah. Yep.
my mother and others' mothers had.
Yes.
Which, I mean, that's not so bad. It's really not atrocious, but it's definitely not a style that's in right now. So
Right. So we are going to go over a couple of these things, some of the trends that you might want to pivot away from while you're planning your wedding. But again, take all of these with a grain of salt. You decide what you want to do in the end, but we're happy to chat about some trends that we're going to wave goodbye to. But as always, we're going to talk about our beverage of the day first, because that is super important as well. What are we drinking today?
I'm drinking coffee from home. It has vanilla in there.
Yeah. Our coffee from home era. I also have coffee from home. Just smacked my microphone. Sorry, everyone, if that was the worst sound in the world. Cold brew. A caramel pecan cold brew. It's a very fall flavor, but I'm into it right now. And I just stuck it in this little cup. It's the Walmart version of a Stanley, because Stanley has yet to slide into our DM saying we want to partner with you. So everyone get in the comments of, the episode, the YouTube video on social media, get in the comments and tag Stanley and say, sponsor them, because I also do have my Stanley right here.
Yeah, we both have those. They're great. That flavor sounds really good. I think I'm probably late to the game, but I just learned that Dunkin' Donuts has a butter pecan flavor.
Ooh, yes.
Which I think that maybe they've always had that. I don't know. But I tried it a couple days ago, in an iced coffee, and I'm a fan. So I'm on board.
Yes, anything with the nutty flavors is what I like. And you love hazelnut too, so I feel like that's...
I do. Yeah, I'm always drinking hazelnut.
Oh, so good.
Okay, well, we are going to dive into it now that we're done talking about drinks. So the first trend that is kind of on the way out that I'm going to talk about is custom signage. So this is something personally for me that I have never really loved, in any design setting, weddings included. I just really don't think that there's any need to label everything. And especially the wedding signs that say, and I mean, I think that this had its time, but the wedding signs that say very custom, the wedding of, and it has the couple's name on there. Really everyone at the event does know who they're there to see get married. So it's a little unnecessary, and the custom part of it really costs more, it being custom. So I mean, I would say that instead of those things, which really it reminds me of the live, laugh, love signs, or kitchen, or laundry room, the signs that end up all over people's houses. My mom has 1,000 of them. Sorry, Mom. I don't like those. We have had lots of conversations about it. But yeah, I would say instead of the really custom signage that, can cost an arm and a leg, I think that you could opt for something that just really enhances your guest's experience. Like maybe you could have like a little bit more live music playing like as guests arrive, like that would be really cool, or someone handing out like glasses of champagne instead. I don't know if like those prices will necessarily like equate to each other, but yeah, custom signage of any kind, I'm not a huge
Yeah.
fan of. Once again, if it's your thing, if you have your heart set on having a custom sign with your names on it, go for it. But let it be known that you probably won't do anything with that after the fact. Like, welcome to the
Yeah.
wedding of. Like, it just doesn't, you're not going to hang it in your house.
Yes, yeah. And I think there are some times where people are like, "Oh my gosh, get this custom sign that says like the Smiths established 2024." Like and you can hang it up in your house. I've rarely seen them, and when I do see them, I'm always like, "Is that the decor design choice we want to be going for
Yeah.
here?" And
It's just
maybe
not
it
my
is.
thing.
Yeah, it's not my
It's
thing
really like
either.
farmhouse, I think, which I think is also just like a home trend that like had its heyday and maybe is, in more of a dormant area right now. Like
Yeah.
these things can come back. Trends usually do. There's a
Totally.
cycle, but yes, that is the first one
And I
for
have to
me.
say, in my podcast studio area is a lot of my old wedding decor just like boxed up. Except for I'm looking at this sign that says "Welcome to our beginning," and we bought it secondhand off of like Facebook Marketplace from somebody who they made it specifically so that it could be passed around. If you're in that kind of situation, but I kind of hate it. I like don't want it in here because when else am I gonna use it? What am I? So I need to give it to
Yeah.
someone who's getting married. If you're getting married and you know me, I'll give it to you. You can have it. I don't want it.
Unless they listen to this episode and they hear that we say that signage is totally on the
Yeah, then
outs.
maybe not. Oops. Okay, another trend that we're going to wave goodbye to is large wedding parties. And it's funny that I'm the one talking about this because I had 7 bridesmaids. I probably wouldn't have chosen for it to be different, but I also had a really, really small wedding. You've heard me talk about it before. And really there's been a overall shift to having things be more intimate, small. So as a result of the wedding overall being smaller, wedding parties are also looking a little bit smaller. And this is really nice because you're really just inviting and having the close circle of people surrounding you for that day, helping you with all the prep, the lead up to it. And it's so nice to be able to have that really reliable set of friends, and you're not trying to navigate 8 different people's schedules and planning all of these things. And you might even have more funds in this area to be able to allocate towards a bigger bachelorette party or other associated events. But also I've seen people do it this way where they have 3 or 4 people in their like official bridal party, but then they open it up, like their bachelorette party, open it up to more of their, extended group of friends. And I've seen this work
That's
out
a
really
fun
well.
idea.
So I think that could be a good pairing of it. If you're still like, well, I still want like all of these people involved, or if you're a people pleaser like me and you feel like, oh, well, I was invited to be in this person's bridal party, like I should be inviting them to be in mine. Like, no, you don't have to do that. Keep it small if you want to, because I think large parties get overwhelming and cost a lot and just can be like filled with drama. Get rid of the large wedding parties if you want to. Keep it smaller, and you might find that there are so many benefits to it.
Yeah, I just really like the idea of like more intimate. I've always been like the kind of person who has just like a really small group of friends anyway. But yeah, I just really like the idea of that. Like something that kind of like, I don't know, seems like something that I would want to avoid. And I know that a lot of people have run into it is that they, have a big wedding party for the sake of like including all of their friends and maybe even like acquaintances, and then, a couple years after the wedding, they don't even talk to those people anymore. So, and I hate the idea of that, like they're in this really special part of your day, these people. Like if you look at like the real meaning of like what your wedding party is supposed to be, like these are the people that are supposed to support your relationship and that supported your relationship when you were dating, and the people that are supposed to, be there for you, after your wedding, like into your marriage. So yeah, I think like just really having the people that like are super close to you, even like family. I know that you're a big part of, Caroline, your wedding party being on the bigger side is because you're like
Yeah.
have a million siblings, so
Yep.
like that is a big part of it, but like keeping it really close, like siblings and just like really like close friends that without a doubt are gonna be there with you beyond. I just think that's really special. And your idea of like
Yeah.
including more people for a party,
Yeah.
totally awesome. Really fun.
Best of both worlds. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, the next trend that I want to wave goodbye to, I love the idea of waving goodbye to this, is sweetheart tables. So we're seeing less and less of these. And I just really like this idea. I know some people do like sweetheart tables because they say, you know, your wedding day is so crazy, and one of the only times that you really get to just, you know, be with your spouse, I guess, your new spouse, is when you're sitting at that table alone. But there are so few times in like your life that like all of your closest friends and your family are going to be there and like to celebrate you. Like it's just like a special, like such a special thing. And a lot of people are opting for more, like I've seen a lot, especially in the intimate weddings, like just like a really long table of like everyone talking together and everyone visiting with each other. I just think that that's really cool. And yeah, I mean, like you get to spend the rest of your life eating with your spouse and spending time one on one with your spouse. Like
Yeah.
this is a really unique opportunity for you guys to see all of your favorite people all at once and visit with them.
Yeah, I agree. And it's hard with sweetheart tables. It feels so like, yeah, it does feel so almost, I don't know, sectioned off is not the right word. Secluded, which again, if that's what you want, for sure. But there's just something about a wedding being this like collection of people all coming together, all to celebrate you. And then you also being together with everyone else. I don't know. It adds to that intimacy. It adds to that, like, that trend we're seeing shift towards that, the intimate kind of familial
Yeah.
gathering. Yeah.
I feel like it's like a little bit less formal as well. Like I feel like the idea of like a sweetheart table, the setup of it is like very formal. Like but like you can like kind of bring it down like to that like when you're just like, you know, on the same level as like everyone else hanging out with them. Yeah, and then that's just a huge shift that we're seeing too overall, is like less traditional. I mean, overall I think that
Oh,
weddings are
yeah.
just gonna, as time goes on, like just less and less traditional and like breaking tradition in different ways. So
I kind of love it. Another thing that also kind of feels like what used to be very traditional are favors. And we want to get rid of meaningless favors because they are, yeah. I could go on a tangent for a while. I'm going to try and keep it as short as possible. Often, couples will include a favor for their guests. If you've never seen them, some things can be like plants, some things can be little tissues, some things could be, I know people who've done hot sauce bottles. That could be cool. I don't know.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Some of them are cool. I'll give it that. But if you are just putting out favors to feel like you're checking off that box, that's where we don't want the favors anymore, because it just feels like guests will leave them on the table. It's a waste of money. It's not actually a meaningful addition to your day. It's just going to waste a chunk of your budget, and we don't want that. So if you do have a creative, useful keepsake, some sort of favor that is very personalized to you, some sort of memento that you know guests are going to hang on to and want to, you know, take home with them, then that works. And the example that I was using is the favors that this one couple did. Actually, a coworker and her husband, her favorite thing ever is Loft House cookies, and so she had a Loft House cookie at every seat, which honestly, food as a favor, we're into. And then they also had these hot sauce bottles with custom labels that the company had done. It's just like mini ones, but it was his favorite hot sauce. So something that I feel like is a little more personal, a little bit more like I would have taken the hot sauce home. Heck yeah. And I would have eaten the Loft House cookie on site. But there are favors that I've seen that like didn't take with me, that I hated, that just seemed like a waste of space and budget. So do not feel like you have to do it. Don't feel like you have to do
Right.
favors unless it's like perfect for you.
Yeah, people really aren't expecting it, I don't think. I think maybe that there was a time when they were, and it was like a given that there's going to be some sort of favor, but really, like a lot of people, it's a koozie with like the couple's name and the date on it, or a shot glass or whatever, and that's fine. But like really, like they'll probably sit around in someone's junk drawer for a little while, and then they'll get tossed out. Like I have seen like those custom shot glasses at like Goodwill and places like that before, which is like kind of funny and sad. But like, I mean, people just don't need those things. But yeah, that idea of like cookies or some sort of snack or like the hot sauce, like that will actually probably get used or eaten like right away. Yeah, I love that. Okay, the next trend that I'm going to talk about waving goodbye to is individual wedding party introductions. So I don't know if this is just like one of my own personal nightmares or like if other people don't like it too, but like
Ooh.
when everyone has to know what I'm talking about when like the reception's like getting ready to get started, the guests are kind of seated, and then the DJ comes on and he starts announcing the wedding party, count like, leading on to like the couple that's going to be announced, and then the wedding party, like the bridesmaid and the groomsmen will like do some like dance, like finger guns.
That's
It like
exactly what they do.
I don't like watching it. I don't like I mean,
No.
I've never taken part in that. I really don't want to. Like I'd feel like I would be physically unable to. I don't like it. And I don't know if I mean, haven't you asked enough of them? You know what I mean? Like to be in your wedding party.
Ooh,
So, yeah,
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of feel bad actually. I mean, like some people, this probably is like so much fun for them and like they're like and maybe this is really just my personality type, but I feel like we don't have to do this. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
to. And I feel like it might be something that is a little bit outdated. It's
Yeah.
like a little cringy, like let's be honest.
Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah.
there's, yeah, it's definitely like for some people. And typically, like my personality, you would think leans more towards that. I hate it too. I really do. Every time I've been a part of a bridal party and had to do this, I've had to think long and hard about what I want to do to try and look like as chill as possible and not like because it is super cringy to me. And so one of the weddings that I was a part of, I actually just like ordered a like fake money gun so that I could just like stand there and just like
Oh,
it was like mostly
Caroline.
because the other person who I was paired with, because I was paired with like a groomsman, he was so into it. He was like way more into it
Yeah.
than I
Okay.
was. So he was like, all right, what are we gonna do? And I was like, you do what you want to do. I'm happy to like add to that in whatever way you want, and then just like go sit down. Just trying to like
Just go sit down. Yeah.
just trying to like and I think like one of the kids ended up stealing the like money gun thing and he had fun with it the rest of the night. And you know what? All I could ask for. Yeah, this is one that I think for the people who love it, it's not worth it for the people who hate it.
Yeah. And like, okay, like people that are part of a wedding party, if the bride and groom want you to do this, like unfortunately that is a task that you have to complete. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is something you have to do. But I don't know if I think less and less so people will be wanting this. And I think that that's great.
A trend we're going to say farewell to is farewell brunches. That was so cheesy. We are seeing a rise in after party type things and late night
Yeah.
celebrations. So, farewell brunches are going to start to kind of make an exit. Traditionally, farewell brunches are yet another formal event. Again, we said before, like formal events are kind of making their way out, and they're for your guests to attend after the big celebration. And it can feel like overkill. If your heart is set on some sort of farewell brunch, for sure, do whatever you want, make it casual. But I think it's hard. There have been a lot of farewell brunches that I've been invited to, but a lot of them ended up being ones where I was traveling. So I was not going to stay for the next day for it,
Yeah.
whatever else was happening. But it can be cute as part of a wedding weekend where like guests know that they are staying for a full weekend. There's a lot of things going
Mm-hmm.
on. But if you want to do a farewell brunch of some sort, maybe just keep it to like your family and closest friends. Maybe make it a
Yeah.
small, more intimate thing. Again, we're going to say that over and over again, but these really formal where you have to invite everybody to a farewell brunch, I'm not seeing it that much anymore, and I think that's for a good reason.
Yeah, it's just like I mean, for some people, go attending your wedding, like they might have to take off a day of work, like there's travel involved, like you said, like it really can just end up being like another obligation that they have to fill, like another fancy outfit that they have to get, and not that they don't want to celebrate with you, it's just really,
Mhm.
it's a lot. Like, well, what are we signing up
Mhm.
for to go to this wedding, So, yeah, and if you do have one, I would be, like Caroline said, like a little bit shorter on the guest list and keep it more casual and
Yeah.
really don't be offended if people need to kind of dip out and get on their way
Mhm.
and travel back home and all
Mhm.
that stuff. But yeah, I'm happy to see these go, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
Okay, the next one that I'm going to talk about is minimal design and color palettes. So, meaning that those are on the outs, which I'm really happy about. Maximalism. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how you say it.
Yeah.
It's in, which is really fun. For like such a long time, it was like just like a touch of green, lots of whites, and like just very clean looking, and that really had its time, and I really liked it when it was like more of like on the rise, but I think now like that's starting to get a little bit boring, and like it's just so much fun, like all like the maximalism, like lots of bright color palettes, lots of colors going on, patterns being involved. I'm very much into it, and I would like
Yes,
to see more of
same.
this, please.
Oh, just in general, I for a long time like tried to be part of the minimalist movement in like all areas of my life, and I hate it. I love little trinkets. I love little things. I love lots of color. I'm here for it. So, I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Happy about that one.
Hmm. And honestly, kind of as part of that too, matching bridesmaids dresses are also something that we are saying goodbye to. And I think that is like such a great thing. And I'm seeing so much creativity coming from
Yeah.
this leaning into mismatched different colors, different patterns. It is so cool. Because the matching dresses is it is very traditional, and I still think it can be done in a really cool way, but I think it's even cooler and adds a lot more personality. And I don't know, I keep going back to the words of like intimate and like, I don't know, just so personalized to you, to the
Yes.
bridesmaids, to the wedding overall. I had this from the get-go for my bridesmaids. Each of them was going to have a different color, a different style. Even when I had to switch things around, we continued to go with that theme. And that's something that I look back on and I love it because I can see the personalities of each of my bridesmaids come out. But I'm also thinking I see so many cool bridesmaids dresses that make me excited. And for a long
Yeah.
time, it was just kind of like, well, bridesmaids dresses, cool, whatever. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so cool. They're so unique. Brides getting to have like, or bridesmaids having a input on it and getting to help create that vision is also a really cool way for the bride and bridesmaids to kind of work together on that. That doesn't even have to go for brides and bridesmaids. That's like the wedding party in general. I've seen a lot of people as well do mismatched like groomsmen kind of things, but somehow it all works together
Yeah.
and just creates such a unique picturesque kind of thing for your whole bridal party.
Yeah, you said it like perfectly, and like just so much creativity is coming out in that, because there's like tons of ways to do it. And I feel like this like the trend like of mismatched bridesmaids, like it kind of started a while ago. Like we kind of started to see it in like like same fabric, different
Mm-hmm.
necklines, which I just think it's like branched out more and more from there, and it just like is really creative. I love the different patterns, and yeah, when you can really see like each bridesmaid or wedding party member's personality come through, it's just really cool.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
here
so
for it.
cool. I love it. That is a lot of the trends that we kept it pretty simple. We could talk about trends for so long. If you want to hear more about the trends
Yes.
that we've been into, episode 3 is a episode that we talk a lot about that. We add pictures to the YouTube channel video, the YouTube video. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But episode 3 is a great one to look at to see some of the trends that we do love. And of course, we talk about it on socials and different things too. But these are just 8 that we're ready to let go of. And maybe you are too.
And if one of these trends that we're labeling as out is something that you have your heart set on or that you're really into, you should totally still do it. You can also take any of these things and put a spin on them and do it in a more modern or your own way. These aren't rules by any means, but these are just things that we're seeing less and less of, and we're seeing people, make a change on in the industry.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And yeah, we will talk about trends all day long, anytime. It's a really fun topic for us. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions on those or want to hear more about
Mm-hmm.
it. And you can ask us that question by going to our website. We have a contact page there where you can reach out to us with any, like I said, questions or episode suggestions that you have for us. Our website is theguidegalspodcast.com. You can also reach out to us on Instagram. We post a lot of behind the scenes stuff there. That is at The Guide Gals Podcast. We're also on TikTok where we post a lot of the behind the scenes stuff as well at The Guide Gals Pod. Like Caroline mentioned just a second ago, every single episode, if you didn't know, we have video of. So you can find all of those videos both on our website and on the Here Comes the Guide YouTube channel. Also on our website, we have our full episode library and lots of free wedding planning resources for you there. So yeah, lots of stuff that you can check out if you want more content from us.
Yes, yes. Find us in all those places. Again, get in the comments. Let us know what you love to hear, what you want to hear more of, and just say hi because we love that too.
Yes.
But until the next episode, cheers!